Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first ever chapter, titled, episode, video, YouTube, recorded item regarding NeosPoly. Yeah. Okay, so listen, this is going to be the most unique of all of the episodes to come, because this episode is going to be in English and Spanish, because Tatiana understands English, so like she understands what I'm saying right now. So she understands what I'm saying. But if she were to try to tell you what she wanted to say in English, this will be a very challenging video. So, couple things. I want to take this video, introduce Tatiana, who is the producer. So everyone,
¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo van?
comment down below how amazing Tatiana is. Just all the encouragement. If you see the outtakes at the end of this video, stay for the outtakes. This was a lot to get her to feel comfortable enough to do this. So, that said, I always say it's really tough to hit record. And I feel like people don't really understand that until they're on the other side of the camera and they're like, oh my God, we hit record. So in either case, I want to talk to NeosPoly, but I want to talk about some of the most popular questions I've had as I kind of discussed this with people. And I want to talk to Tatiana about how she felt when I came to her and said, hey, I want you to produce a reality TV show, the first ever of its kind, on social media, and her thoughts on how that went. So we will translate as needed. We'll go back and forth as needed. This is kind of just going to be a conversation about things. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that all of my Spanish followers can keep up. Because, well, you guys can just use captions. But so that all of my English people, when we talk in Spanish, can also understand. Because I really haven't figured out yet how I want to translate those captions. But in either case, let's jump into it.
Guys, I hate to interrupt this episode, but this is huge news from our sponsor, Sofi Bank. And so, Sofi Bank, you're probably asking yourself, what is Sofi Bank? Do you see this backdrop behind me? I am standing in Medellín, Colombia. Now, I've been traveling for the last 5 years, but the first year of travel, I spent almost 5 figures in international transaction fees. It did not matter if I was at dinner, at an ATM, anywhere. It did not matter. If I used my card and I was out of the country, I was charged an international transaction fee. Until I met Sofi Bank. There's 0 international transaction fees with Sofi Bank. And you may be thinking, because you travel a lot, you're watching this channel, okay, cool, you should sign up for Sofi Bank, and you should. But for everyone else that maybe hasn't left the country and you're watching this channel for inspiration, which don't watch this channel for inspiration, we're about to grind. Make the plan to get out of the country. But Sofi Bank will pay you right now. It's limited, so click the link. $25, $25. For what? Opening a checking account, a savings account, and depositing $50. So if you open up a checking and a savings account and you deposit $50, they're going to pay you $25 as a thank you for opening your account. Now, I'm saying thank you because they are sponsoring us, which means you are sponsoring us by doing that. So please feel free. Click the link in the description. Get your $25. Now, I want to give you a pro tip. When you open up the account, they're going to give you one option, the only option that you will get the first and only time when you're opening the account is to add the $50 with your debit card. Now, I'm sure you have a current debit card at your current bank. As long as you fund your account with that $50 with that instant debit card, the $50 will arrive in your new SoFi account instantly. And by doing that, you can then use the instant virtual card that they give you in Apple Pay, Google Pay, and whatever tap-to-pay application that you typically use so that you don't lose access to your $50. That's right. That means you get to open up the account, get the free $25, and the whole time you keep your $50. That's a win-win situation. Right now, if you do choose to do an ACH, that's perfectly fine, but you need to still open the account with $50, do the ACH transaction, and when the money is available, SoFi within 7 business days will credit you the $25 for doing so. All of that said, guys, again, this sponsors us, NeosPoly, the Being Neo podcast, me, and everything that I'm doing here on the channel. It helps us out a great deal. SoFi is one of the best sponsors we've had in terms of our relationship, in terms of my customer service as a client of Sofi Bank. It's really incredible. It's one of the best banks I've ever dealt with. So all of that said, thanks for helping out the show. Thanks for helping out the podcast. Thank you. We appreciate you so much. Click the link in the description. Let's jump back into the episode.
Okay, so NeosPoly. I actually had this idea when I was still married, believe it or not. I was married to my ex-wife, and I was currently cheating. as I was with the mistress. And I remember on a weekend trip with the mistress thinking to myself, my marriage is miserable. I feel trapped. I'm having a ton of fun, but I also don't feel safe and secure in the fun that I'm having. And so, like, I had this conflict. And tú recuerdas cuando lo compartí eso contigo,
Sí.
¿cierto? Entonces, lo compartí eso con ella y básicamente la historia es como cuando estaba con mi ex esposa, todavía lo tengo infidelidad porque lo tengo en otra mujer. Entonces, en este momentito, eso es como años pasados, obvio. Lo pienso mucho sobre, hey, es como me encanta esta relación y las cosas con ella, pero a la misma vez con mi esposa, siento como seguro en los sentimientos, en las cosas nuestros tienes, como muchas cosas. Entonces, the base result of all of that was me thinking, how could I create something where I had the best of both worlds? But that on Outtakes, the best of both worlds. So like, you know, the great fun with the mistress, but the safety and security of the wife. Like, and so it was just a thought and an idea. That led to me getting divorced, which is why I said ex-wife. And then a bunch of years of dating craziness. I did stay with the mistress for 3 years, okay? That's another long story. And then I dated a bunch. I got my heart broken a bunch, traveled a bunch, and here we are now. Entonces, Tatiana,
Hola.
cuéntame, ¿en cuál forma a principio tú conocerme? She's my ex-girlfriend, people. I feel like that has to be said. And the reason it has to be said is because NeosPoly is about sharing love differently. I want everyone to be able to see and experience love differently. And I don't know how many of you have an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend that you feel comfortable enough trusting them with absolutely everything with. But Tatiana, she's the one I trust everything with. So, that said, we dated, and like, cuéntame, y dime tú, solo yo, no quiero te compartir esta información con nadie, solo con nosotros. Cuéntame, ¿cómo se fue nuestra relación? Bien, ok. La pregunta que tengo es, sí, ¿cómo se fue contigo en mi pareja? Esta experiencia, cuéntame, ¿qué parece? So the question is, how is it like to date me?
Ok, yo creo que cuando te conocí, de por sí, siempre te lo he dicho, eres una persona que cuando llega a un lugar te haces notar demasiado. O sea, tu energía, tu luz, tu forma de ser es admirable y es bonito y se ve, se siente.
Oh, wow. Pero todos somos la gente en general.
La verdad, sí, porque todo el mundo te queda. O sea, cuando vamos en la calle tienes. Y más allá de que hay sí un extranjero, es tu energía, lo que proyectas en la gente.
So what she's basically said, this feels really weird saying this because it's so sweet, but she said that I'm the type of person, she's always said that when I arrive in a location, it doesn't matter where, you see me, you feel my energy, and it's apparent and aware, and it's beautiful. So that's really nice to say. Which basically means dating me was horrible. Look at it.
Y ya respondiendo pues a tu pregunta, que es estar en una relación contigo, es bonito. Realmente eres una persona que cuida, que protege, que está, que apoya. Y partiendo de que ningún ser humano es perfecto, eres un gran ser humano y aportas demasiado a la vida de las personas en las que estás.
Ay, mil gracias. Entonces, I'm not a bad person, people. So, again, to bring everyone up to speed, she basically just said, dating me is beautiful. I'm a great human. She felt protected. I cared for her well. I'm supportive. I am all of those things. But if I told you all of the heartbreak stories I have from some of the craziness that is my relationships, you'd be like, but I thought she just said, and I'm telling you right now, if you're an ex watching this, you can agree, I was a great effing boyfriend. I'm not perfect. I will never claim to be perfect, but I definitely feel like I've gotten some things that I didn't deserve to receive in terms of love. Why? Okay, so we've talked about this. For me, everyone's love, experienced, expressed, shared, received, given, it's all based on the love you've received, right? And so we've already covered no one is perfect. No love story is perfect. And so by the time someone loves you, even as an infant child, your parent is going to love you with whatever traumatic experience of love they know. And they're going to do the absolute best that they can because you're their child, right? But their love, their experience of love has trauma. So if everyone is loving everyone with their trauma experience love, what are we all left with? Great people getting hurt. And so, as you may have listened to in some of my other things, Neo, my name, doesn't mean I'm the one. Neo signifies, define, means new. And so NeosPoly is not just me with two beautiful women traveling the world with a beautiful producer. It's me sharing with you a new version, a new experience, a new outlook, perspective, opportunity to view love differently. So, NeosPoly was born. Entonces, si me entendí todas las cosas, ok, y poco,
Sí,
más o menos.
sí.
Vale. Entonces, al principio, cuando yo hablo contigo sobre esta idea, literalmente al principio le dije, ay, Tati, lo creo, lo tengo esta idea, lo creo.
Ya te me van a preguntarme básicamente qué pensé.
Sí, exactamente. Entonces, ese es mi punto. Ella sabe inglés, pero es como un poco difícil para explicar las cosas, los sentimientos y las cosas de ella piensas en inglés. Entonces, vale, aquí está.
Yo creo que... Bueno,
Like, it's crazy. I still think it's crazy.
Neo es loco. Neo es muy, muy loco, pero es una persona con mucha visión. Entonces, cuando yo escuché sobre esta idea, yo dije, este man está re loco, pero creo que la única persona que podría hacerlo real eres tú. Y te lo dije. Es loco, sí, pero tú lo puedes hacer real. Entonces, aquí estoy.
Entonces, vamos. I still think it's crazy. So she said that when I told her about it initially, she was like, yeah, I think it's crazy. But if anybody had the power to actually make this crazy thing real, it would be me. I agree with her. I have to agree with her because I have my own doubts about all the things I want to do. I know some of you are thinking to yourself, dude, I have enough trouble with one woman. How in the world are you going to be doing this with two, with three? Because are you crazy? I've been married, I've been divorced. We know this, we've touched this already. So like, I'm not crazy. What I think is crazy is taking the word monogamy with the word mono, which means one, and then referring to it in a relationship where there's two people. That's what I think is crazy. I think what's crazy is everybody running around here thinking monogamy is supposed to be the level at which things are equal, when the reality is that in every monogamous relationship I have ever witnessed, experienced, seen, or been a part of, somebody's accepting less than what they deserve. And I don't care if it's the mother that's raised kids and you're the husband that goes to the gym 6 days a week and the mother is out of shape and you just look at her and love her because she brought your children into this world, but that's just the excuse of why she keeps eating donuts and is not with you at the gym. So you have to accept not the woman that you married, but the woman that's now become this because of pregnancy. And listen, guys, I coach women for a living. I understand pregnancy wreaks havoc on the body, but that doesn't mean that you can't change. And there are a ton of women, just look, that have transformations of being women with kids to being fitness competitors, models. Like, your only limitation is your mind. That said, I don't understand why when I say to somebody, a friend of mine, hey, I'm going to have NeosPoly, I'm going to live my life, share it with the world in a polyamorous relationship. And I mean, I literally just had a friend of mine tell me, oh, I don't want my daughters to be in polygamy. And I was like, first off, polygamy is multiple wives. It's usually a very controlling situation, and it has nothing to do with polyamory. Why? Because poly just means multiple, and amor means love. And so if you can feel love and share love, there's a book called The 5 Love Languages that are shared in like churches all over the US. If you understand that there's multiple forms of love, then you understand that poly, in its nature, is synonymous with it. So, I know it's crazy. But here we are, Tatiana, the producer, because I know you guys are like, wait, what? Guys, I obviously do relationships really badly, which is why she's here. So, in dating and looking at identifying who I wanted to do this with, I trust her. And so, everyone that I have met, interviewed, dated, gone out on dates with, she has had to meet, discuss, talk to, heard about, listen to, etc. And at this time, we have the first, most... When I started this, it was a result of not wanting to repeat past traumatic love experiences. What I have found as we've embarked on this is a feeling of love and freedom I never knew existed in the exploration, the uncomfortable aspects of being vulnerable, and sharing the depths of what commitment looks like when you lead with the truth about everything. ¿Se me entiende? Es todo. Entonces, a principio, eso es algo, no creo, es como un resultado del trauma y del dolor y con experiencias pasadas horribles. Pero ahora, con este proceso, durante este proceso, en la forma de mi mente y mi perspectiva y mi corazón se cambió con las diferentes experiencias, con las diferentes mujeres, con la forma donde tú piensas sobre cuál cosas lo quiero y cuál compañeros y parejas lo quiero en mi vida. Este cambió mi perspectiva en la forma de mi corazón, por eso como completamente. Entonces, estoy absolutamente feliz. Es una sorpresa grandísima en la forma de mi perspectiva de cosas se cambió. Pero a la misma vez estoy demasiado emocionado porque lo sé, es no solo para mí. Con ella también lo creo, las cosas se cambian de perspectiva de las cosas, ¿cierto? Y la mujer, ella es loca en este momentico, pero ella es absolutamente increíble. Se llama Joa. Y ella al principio nos pregunta, ella tiene como un montón de preguntas.
Demasiadas.
Es como, ay, diablo, solo vamos, ya. But Joe is incredible. And so Joe is the first woman. We are together looking for the second woman, still in dating and going through those things. But Joe is incredible. She had a million questions. And I will tell you, with the amount of women I've dated and going through the NeosPoly aspect of things, the questions are good. If you have a lot of questions, it means that you're thinking through and understanding the commitment that's being asked. And the reality is, you know, living with me, I mean, it's different. Traveling the world with me is different. Learning my outlook, mindset, perspective to how I do business and make money is different. And I'm asking these women to share their life with me and do those things. So, you've been following and listening to, at this point in time, what is NeosPoly? So myself, 2 girlfriends, and an ex-girlfriend are going to travel the world. I've created 3 brands, okay? For those of you that don't know, I currently have 13. I've created 3. I'm using these 3, then I'm going to show them how to build, how to manage, how to grow 3 different businesses as we travel the world and make US dollars. Now, for some of you, that's like, that's cool. No, it's amazing. Are you kidding me? Because the reality is, like, I've been married. And what most people don't understand about marriage is how much work it takes. It takes a lot of work. I think people look at my life sometimes and like, man, Neo, your life looks so cool. But you don't see the times that it's been 72 hours before I've actually had a full night's sleep. Because I'm grinding. Because I have problems and things I'm dealing with. Like, I love my life, don't get me wrong, but it's intense. And so, to make the commitment to want to go through that level of intensity because you want to grow your life, you want to do, man, it's a lot. So, it's one man, 2 beautiful women, and a world filled with adventure. We're going to take you guys along with us to the first ever reality show that's actually real. Real lives, real people connecting with you here on every social media platform you can think of. Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. If you can find it on your phone, we'll be coming to you there. All right, so stay tuned. We're going to keep you updated on what we're doing, what the progress is. You should absolutely subscribe to the behind-the-scenes things because let me tell you, the behind-the-scenes stuff is where it all lives, okay? It's just, there's so much there. And yeah, just like, there's nothing that you've ever seen like this. I'm excited.
Sí.
¿Cómo te sientes?
Demasiado feliz. Asustada. Pero
Sí,
muy, muy emocionada. Muy emocionada porque es un excelente proyecto. Y sé que nos va a ir.
Entonces, oh my God, bro, entonces, so look, follow along, subscribe, click the like. Listen, this is what I need from you. I need you to take this video that you just watched and you're like scratching your head like, wait, huh? And just share it with somebody and be like, yo, there's this dude from New York, currently in Medellín, Colombia. And so like, yeah, oh, and yes, if you were wondering if they're beautiful, Show when you watch this, just remember that I said this. You're fucking hot. You're so hot. But in either case, peace, guys. Just stay tuned for the next chapter. Follow along. All of the things that you need to follow are in the description below. ¿Es algo que tú quieres compartir?
Que se suscriban. Se suscriban, se suscriben, se suscriban.
So she said subscribe. Peace.
Hasta luego.
Come see me. You want to look at me? You want to look at... We're going to make these bloopers. Ah! I think these should be bloopers. These will be the outtakes. Take one. Take one down. Still better? Yeah. All right.